We're alive.
You're alive.
I'm alive. You're alive.
Maybe.
You're alive and you're live.
They didn't steal that Allen wrench yet. See, that one's still missing.
So what we are doing is Tatro's assembling my rocker boxes.
Look at the missing parts. Okay, we got these new Japanese rocker boxes. They're nice and thick and heavy. They're made for late bikes. These are the little spacers. Hit them. Put them back.
I put them back over there in the back box of other stuff.
If you have early heads like we do with the 4 long studs all the way around, then you have a spacer that goes right here to compensate for the cutaway box. Alright. Got this stuff all cleaned up. We got our new gem shafts. Look at, they put gems on them so you know they're expensive. We got our new S&S parts here. They're supposed to match, aren't they?
Yeah. Put them in the right way.
Little, somebody's got a burr on it. I'm guessing this here has a burr on it. There you go. Pretty tight. Make sure they're all good. Yep, they're all the same. Snug. Alright. Already made sure these fit in the boxes. Nothing loose there. It's pretty tight in here though. Alright. Plug up our holes in here because we're going to run internal oiling. That's why we had to go to these rocker arms, because these have the oil hole through here for Evo style oiling. The stock Harley rockers have a hole at the top, so oil goes in here and right at the top, doesn't do anything. So this has the internal gallery that goes into the feeds of rocker bushings, so you can use the internal. First thing I do is put some goop. This is vintage goop.
You can get it on either end.
Yeah. Way too much of it too. You only need on the first couple threads. You don't want on the top either. Wipe that off. No hole over here. Oh. Make sure there's no dirt. Try not to cross thread these. I got the right angle. The angle is not perpendicular to the surface. So it comes out at an angle.
Mm-hmm.
Comes at an angle like this, not straight up and down.
Because of the crossover tube then.
Right, so try not to cross thread them when you put them in. See how much goop came out, even though I've hardly put any on it. If you put a lot of goop on there, you have a lot more mess to clean up. See, light goop, light cleanup. See the excess goop? Plus it's wasteful. We're all about waste around here. That thing's only been used for probably 30 years now. Yeah, I'm pretty good at dropping these.
There you are.
See what happens if you get a little bit of sleep?
Yeah.
I do better without any sleep than a little sleep.
That's where you do your best work at.
Yeah, when I'm not sleeping.
Now, if I really wanted to get anal, I'd mill off that little pad right there for the air.
Then you have to re-crumb them.
Yeah.
Just mill the crumb, leave it the way it is.
Yep.
Let it flake off.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
I don't care. See, folks, this is what I'm talking about right there. But that's just me.
That's because you have a 74-inch motor. They don't have that there. That's for the air cleaner mount. That came out in 77 or 78.
Yeah, but I'm going to be running just one bracket for the S&S
That's right.
air cleaner. Not no stock Harley.
All right, plugs are in. Clean rag. I'm gonna switch over.
They're all clean.
Relative for
Some just a different shade than others.
That's right. We'll switch. All right, we don't need this no more. We'll save that for the next guy. All right. It doesn't matter where these go. They're all the same. These are dry. See how dry they are?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get any lubricant in there either, so well, we're going to do our best. The 1 o'clock choo-choo's early tonight. It's only 9:30.
There's one that sometimes comes around 11 or midnight.
I always hear the one that goes down Commercial Street, 1 o'clock. 1 a.m.
A lot of times I get the one right there on Hawthorne. I get caught at that one.
Yeah. It's going the other direction. That one heads north. This one heading east. If you don't hear it being dry anymore, that means there's oil in it.
Are they replaceable, those rollers?
Who replaced them?
Was that?
Who?
No, can you replace them when they wear out?
These?
Yeah.
S&S makes a kit. Jim's and S&S has a rebuild kit. The other vendors, I'm not sure about.
How many miles would you say they're good for?
I don't know. It's more like when you blow it up.
Well, your type of riding probably good for about maybe 20 miles. And
I broke 2 and I didn't ride the bike yet. Does that count?
just starting it up.
Yep. My single. The Buell. Went through 2 sets of rocker arms, never even ride the bike. Stupid ass racing push rods kept coming unscrewed. Stupid Rivera taper lights. Piles of crap. Cost me a lot of parts. Rocker arms, valves. Screwed up everything. Had to weld up the head, the guides, guide hole again. Just screwed everything all up. Suckers come loose, you don't know it.
Until you hear it.
Warming the bike up at 9,000 RPM, just warming it up, and things started breaking on you.
That must have sounded pretty.
Just quits running.
They didn't give you no warning sign, huh?
No,
Just stop.
trying to dial the carburetor and stuff, running it, warming it up, and make sure everything's working good. And it just starts getting real rough and it just shuts off on you. Usually just shuts right off. Once that valve quits going up and down, it kind of quits running at that point.
So no major bang or nothing.
No. No, you can't hear the banging. Exhaust note's way too loud for that. That 730 valve lift will do that too.
That's a lot of lift.
Yep. A lot of lift, a lot of RPM. Boy, they're race motors, not street motors. 600 something valve spring tension didn't help it either. So. All right, get these all lubed up inside the bushing hole. Notice I have to use my precision hole, luber hole. Oh, that was my clean rag. That's in my rags. Here. We got multiple rags. All right. Oh, I forgot to do something. So you got me so talking about other crap, I forgot.
Talking about your race motors.
Yeah, important stuff. Now I gotta go back over here and get some more stuff.
The shims, huh?
Yep. Rocker arm shims.
How much play are you allowed?
Some. Okay, these here, these are magnetic. Look at that. What do you got magnetic parts in your motor for?
Years of
Years of
friction, use and abuse.
Yeah. See over here?
And degauss them.
They don't stick anymore. Now you don't want magnetic parts in your bike because the metal chips stick to it and makes it wear. So now there's no more sticking. Okay, what you do is you take your part, stick it assembly. I went and sanded these flat, kind of. Stick them together, push on them. That's your end play. How's that sound to you? Pretty good?
I don't know. I don't have a trained ear. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I can definitely hear it, but.
So then you go in here and you take out some shims, throw them on the floor like everything else. Here's some 7s. These are 5s. Take it back apart. The shim always goes on the inside.
And is that a 5/1000 thick right there?
7.
7? Okay.
If you put them over here, when you try to put it together, the shim will drop down. And you'll tighten this up and it kind of jams everything up and you won't have a true number. Okay, you don't hear any clearance now, see?
Right.
But you can see it squeezing, squeegee.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you got your 3 to 5 thou on there.
And that's what you're allowed?
You can allow whatever you want to use.
Is that what you like to use, those 3 to 5,000 clearance?
It doesn't really matter how much you have. It's going to go where it wants to anyway. You know, customers like stuff being kind of tight. So. It makes them feel important when their stuff's been shimmed up and nice and snug and all that kind of junk. Where'd my washer go?
It'd be a little quieter too, wouldn't it?
My washer disappeared. No, I don't think so. There's my washer, see? I don't like having it in that spot. I always like having a washer where I know it is in the right area. Stick these in here. And a spacer. Now the spacer, depending on how you tighten it up, you have different amounts of clearance available on these. See how this one here looks like it's lower than this one?
Mm-hmm.
So this one here will make it tighter than this side because the rocker actually, the shaft will actually sit down the hole a little bit. You know, the shoulder right here, it'll go in deeper, so it makes it tightens up the rocker. So you can flip it and it'd be looser on that side without doing anything else. So when you check all this stuff, you got to make sure you know, remember which way that came in and out. These things are pretty much going to sit wherever they want to sit to when the push rod opens up and pushes on them. doesn't really matter about employees. I don't think it matters. And make sure you hold your finger over here and keep it against the shaft, so when it hits the bush and it tries to not go in the hole, when this here digs in like this, or digs in over here, or on one of these edges here, it can burr that bushing up. So you want to make sure you hold the arm this way. There's always a gap on this side as you're beating on it. That way if it sticks, you don't hurt it. Your finger will hold up the gap.
Since those are later model shafts, there's no oil holes that you got to line up or anything.
Nope. So you put in your washer. We got these nice chrome-plated ones over here. You're not showing over here. So you got those. Then we got these fancy nuts, and if these stick through too far, it pushes these right off the end.
We'll find out.
Yeah. 5/8. Two hits of my zip gun's all it takes. If it doesn't move like this, it's too tight. See how it's not moving? That's not a good sign.
No, it isn't.
Okay, I got a special tool I use. It's a punch that got a radius tip on it. That sits inside of here. When you beat the shaft out, it doesn't expand it out and lock it up inside the cover. So if I should knock these out, I'm not doing damage. Okay, so this washer, doesn't look like there's even a washer on there right now. I'm going to take this and flip it over. Assuming we have the same washer still sitting in the rocker arm, which it's in there right now, I can see it. See the washer's in there? Didn't see it?
Yeah, I saw it. So one side has a chamfer on, and one side doesn't on the spacer.
They all have the wear mark in there. The wear mark varies. It makes a difference. It's 1 to 4 thou usually difference. It goes up and down there. We have limited lift in here though. We're hitting on something.
Was that a burr? That was.
Oh, it's going further now. To get really tight in these areas in here. So I don't know if it's stuck in there. It works freely right here, but right there is the tight spot. Jams it in. It's really, really close on clearancing. So usually what I do is I put a shim in there and a feeler gauge. Right here what we have. Here's some long feeler gauges. So we'll just grab something, like there's a 6 thou. Numbers anything. Actually, only got one in there. So it's too thick to go between there. 3 thou. See, it won't go through on this side. There, it went through right there. Then I can slide it over and it's got clearance. So I had it going all the way lengthwise and got clearance in there. So that means it's hitting on something else. So these boxes are radiused up inside here, so it might be hitting inside of somewhere like on this side over here. It might be hitting on the inside of there, right in this area.
So you have to notch it or what?
Well, right now it's working. So whatever was there, it got knocked off. See how rough these castings are?
Yeah.
You can have some roughness like that. It was hitting on it and it just knocked it off. You don't know what it is.
Hopefully that little piece isn't floating around in there.
Yeah, well, you don't know. We do know that we have no clearance, but it goes up and down. So there is some clearance, but not much. That was a 7 thou shim, remember? So we'll go ahead and take it apart. So I'm going to take 2 thou out of our shim. I'm also going to take a look to see if I can see if it's hitting on something. If it's hitting on what it's hitting on. There should be a little bit of a mark on the rocker arm. So you lay all your parts out. Remember, we got to know how this here spacer goes in. So
yeah, wear marks.
So we're going to keep it so you know how it goes in. So this side's against the rocker.
You're getting a low battery signal on here. How long is the battery good for?
Until it goes out.
Okay, well, I'll keep filming.
When it quits going, we'll put a battery in it. Let's see, there's a black mark there, but looks like maybe it's hitting right there. So I can't see anything up in there. There's some flashing up in there, but nothing. Looks like everything else is just chrome flashing. So whatever it was, it wiped off. So basically, we are right up next to it. That's the one that really high lift. So we're not going to really be in that kind of a lift. So I'm not going to worry about it. But that's why you got to change your oil when you do a fresh motor, shit like this. Loose stuff. Any of this chrome like this can come off.
Come off, yeah.
You don't know. This shit's just in there. It doesn't matter how many times you clean it. When
Right.
it'll fall off, it'll fall off. That's the problem with all this junk. Okay, so we know that's 7. So we're going to pick up 2 thou. This is a 5. So that's a 5. 5 on there. Put you back in there. This goes against the rocker this way. Remember, it locked up the other way. So. Now, if we flip it over the other way, we might be able to run it with no washer. Don't know. This way, I know I'm within a couple thou what I want. So we're going to try to keep it as tight as we can, even though I don't think it really matters. If you keep it nice and snug, but free, you know you're at minimum clearances. Right there's a high spot, right about there it hits. So that's going to wear a little bit probably until it smooths itself in. It's going to burnish itself in. I can't get to that with the grinder. You put your finger in there, you have the radius going like this, and there's kind of like a sharp edge about just as you went around the corner, there's like a little shelf lip right there.
Yeah.
That's what it's hitting on. And I don't want to grind the rock arm
Yeah,
away.
if it wears in, and that's,
Yeah, I don't want to grind the rock arm away, so.
well, like I said, I'll change the oil real quick too.
See right here, see right there it gets tight, see? Right there, boom. So right about your top, so your lift, valve lift is where it's going to do it. Now, in-play wise, can you see the free player, the in-play right here?
Mm-hmm.
That's how much you have. So we're at minimum clearance on that one. Okay, and we'll get to see the other ones all the same way. So I'm going to take this, we're going to do the other arm, which is this side. Stick it up in there. Put together. Looks like about the same problem.
Yeah.
We'll take that 7th thou shim we used before. Take it. A little bit of oil on here. Now this here, it never hits on this. I don't know why they put that on there, because it doesn't hit there.
Just one of the engineers at the factory.
Just how they make them.
Yep.
Now S&S makes these extra long bushing. They talk about how great that is to have those longer bushings. What good is the bushing being this long?
Yeah.
Makes no difference whether you have their bushing or stock bushing. Makes no difference. It's just a sales gimmick.
Makes you feel better.
On their shaft, where they got a solid shaft that's all ground straight through, it does matter. But that only works if you're using their, $900 rocker boxes.
Yeah. Those 2-piece rocker boxes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like those.
So it does matter on their parts, but when you're using Harley parts, it doesn't make any difference. Okay, chrome washer, nut. Okay, go on a couple turns first, and zip it on. It's real tight. Sounds rubbing with a 7.
So put a 5 in there.
If you want to get all the way down to the very, very minimal amount, yeah. I might be able to flip the washer over. Face on there. I'll flip it over. Let's stay in there. Let's stay in there. Pull the 7 off. This one here looks like it's got recessed a little bit more. So that's going to tighten it up. So I took the washer out. So it can tighten it up 3 thou and it'll be fine without the washer. 7 minus 3 will be 4. We were tight, so that puts us at 3. So 2 to 3 thou clearance would be perfect. Right on the limits. And we can do that with no wearing wash, no thin washer in there. That falls.
Yeah.
That means you're good. That's the oil. So come over here and push on it. Nice and free. Now look at the in-play though, see?
Yeah, a little bit more than the other, but
Yeah, but it was tight.
right,
The other
right.
one.
So that's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. That's about how I like them being about that tight anyway. That's at least 5 thou is what I look at it being. So that's where I like them. Okay, so we got that in there. Now we have our Allens here. Where's our gaskets at?
Right there.
Let's see if they gave us some parts that we need. Now this being an all-in-one gasket set, it's going to have 84 and 82 parts in here. We want some of those 82 parts. 80, actually it's 81 I think is when they did it. What we're looking for are these quad seals, not O-rings.
When did they start using the quad seals on the rocker shafts? Bless you.
Like around 81, give or take 6 months.
Yeah, and they seal better, obviously.
Yeah, then 82, they went back to an O-ring in the bottom of the push rod cover, but I think they still kept the quad seal on top, I'm not sure. They got away from the quad seal because it was hard to put the covers in there with a quad seal. But the thing is, the quad seals do not work on the push rods they're made wrong, the covers. This fits tight in the box here, see right here, which is good. But the problem is the push rod cover is like my fingers, like loose like this, so it can go and slide over and leak down to one side.
That's
So
not good.
you put the Evo upper O-ring in it, the real thick O-ring they got, or Evo Sportster. Evo Sportster is silicone material. The Big Twin Evo are just a rubber compound. So actually the Sportster one's a better rubber. It's a silicone material, it's a higher temperature rated. So, but it fits tight on the OD and the ID, so it works really good. So I always use that for everything that has a push rod cover with the O-ring style cover. But these, where they work really good is right here, because this here, surface here, you can put an O-ring on there. Now on the stock one, it's a square edge. This one here, it's got a tapered edge, see? But when you put the quad seal in there, it hits really heavy on that inner side.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is the cross section is thicker than this one. Because this is round. This has this actually has a little O-ring on each little corner, so it seals on every O-ring. There's 4 sealing points on this. This one only has the round. So when you put this in there, you got 2 sealing points on the OD, and you got 2 sealing points on this flat nut.
Yeah,
So that gives you 4 sealing points. It only takes 1 to seal. So that's why I always put them in here, because it just gives you that backup of doing it. So I put these in there with my thumb or my finger. You push them in. Make sure they're all the way down in there, because they have to recess between the shaft and the cover. So now they're in there all the way. Then I take these. So you can keep all your tools in your tool bucket, you know where they're at. See? So now, when you put this in there, it'll be nice and sealed, and they rarely leak.
Yeah, I've had them leak before on
Now what I do is I
O-rings,
lubricate.
yeah.
I put a little bit of oil in here. Now I want a little bit of oil on the flat surface here. I don't care about the threads as much. Doesn't hurt to be on the threads either. Now when you tighten this up, if it's dry, the rubber actually kind of twists and wads up on itself, and it can leak through those little twists. So if you put the oil on there, it let it slide, and it won't. It usually doesn't leak then. I've had them where they leaked if you put them in dry.
I've had them leak with O-rings, period.
And that's all it takes. That you're in there. Now when these things get polished way down and you start exposing the side of the nut, and then you start seeing the edge of the O-ring, like on a Sportster, you can see them all the time. You can see half the damn O-ring. The cover box is so cut away.
Wow.
The quad seal will help seal up that minor point, because the O-ring is only going to hit in the middle. This quad seal is going to hit way on the inside, where there's still a little bit of meat left. Now the outside will be exposed, but the inside will still seal. And these ones here start to get exposed. They leak like a sieve. So the quad seal works a lot better on sealing.
That's cool how you mix and match things to make them work at their maximum.
Now the worst one you have, for the really bad ones, Ramjet used to make those Teflon ones, the rectangular section Teflon ones. Those are what you use when you have absolutely no chance of sealing anything. You use those, because they're pretty steady. It's a piece of Teflon you stuff in there, so it really jams the hole in. Because I've had it where you just about see the whole damn thing hanging out in the wind. So now this box is done. So you can see I don't have too much oil leakage on there, because you don't put much on there. So these shouldn't leak. Get your fancy ass nuts on the outside that you wanted. And you want to make sure you want a washer between the nut in there. And I don't put sealer underneath my washer because I rarely have a problem with leaking. These are chrome washers, so they might leak a little bit, but I put this surface to the inside, which has a little bit of a lip to it, you know, where the chrome's done. That'll help kind of give you like a lip. The stock washer is a soft, thin washer, and it's actually a gasket. So if you have a little seepage around here, then you pull this off, put a little goop on the flat side of the washer, and jam it back in. It should seal it. But I can't remember the last time I had a leak off of these when the nuts were actually tight. So I don't worry about it. These ones here leak all the time. You just take them out, slam a new over, put a new quad seal in there, and you're good to go. And they come in every gasket set, so you always have a set. And like I said, the other ones, you can keep them for spares for something else.
Right.
I use them on the kicker shaft on a Sportster. They work good for that. I'm not sure we use them anywhere else in the Harley.
So normally the quad seal would go up into here, but
Yeah.
but
What you don't have right now, you
right,
don't have
you're
the
gonna
O-rings
have
for here.
Right.
So we'll have to get you the Evo ones to go in there.
I have to remember that just for
So I'll
keep the
go.
spares around.
I'll show you what those look like. So here's the old shovelhead early Evo stuff. It's black. The late stuff, twin cam, and some of the later ones, I've seen the brown ones and even some green stuff floating around materials. These are the old Evo Sportster, which is your basically 86 through 03. And these are like a silicone material. These cost 2 or 3 times more than this one because they're better material. They're 100% interchangeable. It's the same thing, just different material. So I always use the good ones because I have a bunch
Seal
of them.
better.
Yeah. Well, they just take the temperature so they don't get hard from age. Sportsters run hotter than big ones, that's why they're made out of better material. And they just sit in there nice and snug. Push them in there. They're in there. And the push rod cover, when you put it in there, it pops in with a good thud when it goes in. So it's a good seal to 100% all the way around. So you're going to need a set of these, so we'll just put a pair in there right now. We'll preload it for you. So anyway, like I said, I mix and match different things from different years.
Yeah, whatever
Something
works
works.
the best.
When it works, I use it. I don't care what it was made for.
Yeah. Right.
I use it where I want to use it. Alright, so this box is done. It's ready to go. We still kept our package here to put them in, so we'll keep them clean. And we can't put them on top of the motor right now, there's no head. They don't fit very well right now.
Nah, it ain't gonna stay.
They don't stay there?
I'll put them back in the box.
Right there. Okay, so we got one more to do. We'll see if the battery holds up.
Well, it's still holding up.
Still holding up?
Yep.
You're good to go. Okay, we're going to keep using the same 7th washer as a mock-up. Seems to be working pretty good, so I'm going to keep it going. Okay, next washer. See this one, see the step
Yeah.
in there a little bit? It looks like it's deeper than this one, so I'm going to put this one on first. So this will give me maximum clearance. You see right now it's kind of bound up on the arm. There, I got it where it went on the shaft now. And once you do that, you just lightly tap the shaft in. See, I'm never hitting on the arm. It can go in. I just stop if it does. Because you don't want to have the shaft chew up the darn bushing on you, because then you got to go home the bushing. Okay, there's that one. And so you take the washer, the little edge side goes in first, the rounded side's on the outside. It looks better that way too.
Yeah.
In this case, we have a sealing function. I don't put sealer there because it just makes a big mess easily. That's why I don't use it right now. So I know how tight my tools are, that's why I only do it that way. Okay, that one seems to be pretty free. And our in play. We have no in play. It's free, but there's nothing there. See, it's real tight.
Well, it falls on its own too. So.
Yeah. So I would say I'll probably put a 5 in there, just to have a little something. So we'll go ahead and pop that, put a 5 in it. Now this one here, looks like this is probably the deepest way this way. I'm going to try this one with no shim and see what happens. Now this one here I could probably take the shim out, flip the spacer around and maybe go with no shim too. We'll have to see. We might try that trick again. Pretty tight, whatever I'm hitting on. Tight fit. Washer. I don't usually Loctite these either. If you tighten the nut down, you don't need it. Three. It's the minimum clearance. See it moving?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll leave that alone. Do the there it is. I'm using a plastic so I don't scratch the chrome. It makes it kind of a pain. Flip that around the other way. Pull that up. The washer stayed on there for once. Put it in the same way.
Same way without the shim.
Yeah. Could be a little bit looser. If I flipped around the other way, it would probably get even looser yet. Which way do I go? No, which way do we have? I think that was the deepest recess, is that direction. Which takes out the most clearance. And we have, see, it's pretty minimal clearance there.
Yeah, it falls down nice.
Yeah.
On its own.
Yeah. So I'll probably take the other one out, take the shim out, flip the spacer, and it'll probably be fine without a washer too. We'll just eliminate all the washers. So those are good. If you don't need to put washers in there, there's no reason to put them in. Okay, now we do 2 more quad seals. So you got to make sure you put them in there where they belong. Otherwise they could catch the edge and tear it, and it defeats the purpose of the quad seal. So you just run your fingernail right along the inside of the groove and it pops in real nice.
I'm all about for sealing everything as good as possible.
You don't like leaks,
Nah, especially on a shovel.
so you're going to discriminate against leaks, huh?
Shovels. I don't like leaky shovels.
It's lubrication.
Total oil loss.
It's also rust preservative. There you go. Get the right word. You ever notice how much those new bikes rust now? The old bikes didn't hardly have any rust in them. You always check these to make sure they still work after you do that, because I've actually had them lock up after you did that.
Mm.
Shouldn't matter, but
Yeah, but you know, those are falling down nice and easy.
yeah, and then you come back and you got a little bit of end play, but not much. Alright, we got 2 more of these to put in.
So what year again did they use those?
These O-rings?
Yeah.
There's the Evo, 84 and up.
Okay, 84 and up.
Twin cam, same thing.
Ah, but those were the Sportsters though.
These are the Sportster
Yeah,
ones.
that's what I'm saying. What year Sportsters?
They're 86 number, I think, on them. It says 91 and up, so they're 5-speed Sportster. It's 11190 is the part number for the Sportster. I've got hundreds of these, so I use them all the time. See, the big twin is 11157. It's a different part number. Totally interchangeable part, 2 different part
that's
numbers.
a better O-ring though.
Just a better O-ring.
Yeah.
So these cost a lot more than the other one.
That's-
The other one's only like $1 or something. These ones here are like $3 or $4 a piece from Harley. A lot more money for
Whatever it takes.
These
Keep
are
it oil
very
tight.
forward. Yeah, I sell them for $1.25, I think. Something like that. $1.50, I think. Like most stuff around here, I have multiples of them. Now this one here is when we put a washer in it. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out, but it will come out. There's this, just spun loose. We'll put that in tighter. We can see which one holds better.
Yeah.
Pull out the big one. This has more of an impact on the first hit. And it's easy enough to pop something that's tight. Whereas the other one won't do it.
That's it.
The other does that.
Yep.
One of the tricks around here. With this one, you keep going back and forth. Even though this has a lot of power, it doesn't have what that has. Okay, so now use that. That's the one I just did? Yep. There's always a lot of tricks that you learn over the years doing stuff. So see, there's our O-ring.
Mm-hmm.
No damage was done to it.
Right.
See, no twisting, because it was oiled. Pull it out, no washer. Here's our 5. Pull it out.
Are you gonna flip the spacer around or leave it?
Flip it. We did the flip, and we flipped it the other way before, so we're going to flip it again. We're going back and forth.
Yeah.
It's only probably a thou or two difference, but when you're real close, 1 thou makes a difference. So it only takes 1 thou to be tight if you're close. So you can barely even see the clearance there.
Mm-hmm. It's a little looser though.
It's slightly looser, but it's pretty tight.
And that's without a shim.
Yeah, this one has more clearance over here. It's just how you put it together. You
Yeah.
assemble it different, and you don't have to put a washer in it.
Yeah.
So that's one less part to fail,
Right.
because those can wear and come apart, especially those real thin ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't like using the 5s and the 7s if I can avoid it. You still got your oil on here. Alright, check it again.
tightened up, didn't it?
Well, this is that one that had that tight spot in it.
Oh, okay. That was the very
Look,
first
see how
one
it
he
falls
did.
still?
Yeah.
Remember it had that other tight
Right,
spot?
right. Yep.
See, it's not there now. So something's different. Because that's probably only one thou change
Yeah.
somewhere. But that's all it took
Yep.
to make it not be in that tight spot. You know, that the shaft might have been slightly concentric
Right.
differently, how it went together, who knows.
Yep.
You know, whatever it was
It
was enough that it doesn't drag now. Clean rag out. So, anyway, that's how you do them. So, you even got to see a trick on how to get them apart. So you never know what you see around here.
Yeah.
And the battery's still up in the camera.
Oh, yeah. I like the idea how you mix and match the O-rings. So.
All right, well, there we go.
All right.
We'll do the heads
Signing
next,
out.
but not tonight.